Welcome everyone. Today I want to talk about the subtle competition between Emurgo and IOG. I wanted to talk about evidence that I've seen of divestment on the part of Emurgo, and I want to talk about the two different business plans that are going on simultaneously with Emurgo and IOG. And are they working in tandem or are they in opposition with each other? I'd like for everyone to share their comments below and let me know if I'm reaching or let me know if I'm missing something. So I've noticed this over the past couple of years and I've consolidated some points and I want to talk about them today. The main distribution for Emurgo and IOG and the Cardano Foundation at the beginning, the genesis, was 2.4 billion for IOG, roughly between 2 and 2.1 billion for Emurgo, and 648 million ADA for the Cardano Foundation, and give or take some. You can find the information online. I don't think it's on the main website right now because it's being refactored, but if you go to the older Cardano website, you'll be able to find it. So anyway, what do I mean by divestment? What do I mean by business plans that are working against each other? First of all, Emurgo has had over 2 billion ADA. Their address has never been tracked. It's not traced. IOG had a transparent address and you could always monitor what was going in and what was going out. And the Cardano Foundation, you could track their address as well. Emurgo, you can never track their address. There's a 100% guarantee that they have been selling over the years. They've been selling. It is what it is. It's been talked about. This is not a private fact. So why do I think that this is an issue? It's not really an issue to me because I think that selling ADA to recoup business expenses or to grow a company, I think it's a wonderful thing and I think it should be encouraged. This project has taken a lot longer than we initially anticipated, so funds may have been running low. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. That's not what I'm here to discuss. And by the way, I think that Emurgo made a great product. Yodo is a great product, and I think that it's going to continue to improve and facilitate this idea of mass adoption for Cardano. So I'm not taking that away from them whatsoever. But if you go to the 4 or 5 pools that they're running right now, if you add up all their ADA, and not all the ADA in those pools are actually ADA, their ADA. Some people have been delegating to IOG and some people have been delegating to Emurgo, so there are people that are delegating that are not part of the Emurgo wallet, if that makes sense. So if you add up all the wallets, you get roughly around 500 million ADA. Give or take, let's say 50 million ADA. Anyways, they had 2.0 or 2.1, they had between 2 and 2.1 billion ADA. So basically they have 70 to 80% of their ADA is unaccounted for. And we can agree that this is a large amount. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people that are still within the community, they have not divested 70 to 80% of their ADA. That's what I call a divestment. It's basically exiting the platform and selling that major amount of ADA. It is, I don't know if it's concerning or not, but there's an issue with that. On top of that, they're running 5 pools and each pool is pledging 1,000 ADA. 1,000 ADA is their pledge. You have individuals within the community that are delegating or pledging 100 to 1,000 times more than ADA is pledging to their wallets. And why do I see this as a concern? It's because they hold the lion's share of ADA. So if the individual people within the ecosystem are actually pledging more, or operators are pledging more than the actual company itself, it's astonishing. And there may be certain issues that I'm overlooking. Maybe it's an issue of security. Maybe it's an issue of this, that. I really don't think that you can garner an excuse for that. Because at the end of the day, 1,000 ADA, just put it in reference, around $100, 100 US dollars. Most of you watching this video probably have more in your wallet than what they pledged to their pool. And they are the company that has or had 2 billion ADA. So that 1K pledge indicates that it's either they don't believe in the system that's being put in place, or they don't want as big of a part in that system moving forward into the future. And that 70 to 80% divestment coupled with the 1K pledge in each pool indicates that their business interests may lie elsewhere. Is this wrong? I don't know. It's not up to me to say. I don't think there's necessarily a huge issue, especially if they have a business plan and they are a company and they need to generate revenue. But at the end of the day, this project is very infantile. And I want to know whether or not these three entities are going to stay conjoined over the next few years, or they're going to separate and do their own thing. I think it's important for investors to know that. I know it's important for ADA investors to know that, because it helps you position yourself in the future and it helps you to understand exactly where this cryptocurrency is going to go. So that's that. The next thing, I have to pull out my paper. So recently, we have always referred to Emurgo as the business arm of Cardano. I have not seen anything that has been extremely impressive on my part, and maybe it's because Gauguin is not out. You really need smart contracts to start pushing certain business ideas. And since it hasn't been out for a while, it's really hard to push the product if there isn't a lot to sell to certain governments or individuals or companies or whatever the case may be. I understand that completely. Shelly is out now, but it's very hard to market Shelly other than an investment platform for individual delegators. So moving forward, when we hit Gauguin, we'll see exactly what this business enterprise arm of Cardano really represents. I have not been impressed since the beginning, but it also is telling about what the project has actually accomplished and what maybe needs to be accomplished in the future. But Emurgo created a new company called Brandmark. Ken Kodama is the CEO of Emurgo, and now he's going to be the CEO of a company called Brandmark, which is a joint venture with an Israeli-based company. They're working on supply chain for the blockchain. And I mean, a lot of people were excited about this on Twitter. Once again, this has nothing to do with ADA whatsoever. All it tells me is that Emurgo found a new revenue stream and they are going after that. Just because they are creating new companies or creating new partnerships or creating new joint ventures does not mean that it's going to interact with ADA whatsoever. This supply chain company is in direct competition with Atala Prism, or not necessarily Atala Prism, because there's a sub part of Atala called Atala Trace. So Atala Trace also works to empower brand owners to improve visibility and control of their supply chain. So we have IOG working on Atala Trace, and we have Emurgo working on Brandmark. So both of them, I feel like they're competing against each other, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I always say on this channel that I don't think Atala Prism or Atala Trace, they will not have anything to do with ADA. They're more for IOG, and I appreciate the endeavors. I appreciate the business mentality behind it, but I don't think that individual investors need to be looking at these as something that's going to positively or boost or moonshot their ADA within the next few years or whatnot. So CEO of Emurgo, all of a sudden now he is the CEO of Brandmark. Find it kind of weird that a company that has so much ADA or had so much ADA, we know that ADA will probably moonshot to $1 again sometime in the future. So if they had their 2 billion ADA, they would have a couple $1 billion of assets under their name. But they've divested a lot of that ADA, and they're forming new companies to generate revenue. When the largest revenue stream was always the ADA product. It was always ADA. Unless they create some sort of megalith within Brandmark, which is not going to interact with ADA, but more provide blockchain solutions for certain companies, and they'll probably be getting a cut for installing those programs, and there's going to be a lot of money in that. I don't doubt it whatsoever. But once again, it has nothing to do. And I find it weird that the CEO of Emurgo is now the CEO of another company called Brandmark, and is a joint venture with another company. I just think that it shows divestment. As a CEO, I don't think it's the best move to show that you are becoming the CEO of a smaller joint venture that is also competing in the same field as your partners or the same field that you're working on. So they're working in the cryptocurrency or a blockchain project called Cardano. And then they're also working on another enterprise solution. So those are my thoughts. We also have to talk about the idea that Emurgo is also looking to spread their wings. Over the recent weeks or months, they have also partnered with Ergo. They are supporting Ergo, which is a proof of work cryptocurrency. And I don't see any issue with that, but it seems like Emurgo is working with Ergo, which is a proof of work cryptocurrency. IOG is working with ETC, which is a proof of work cryptocurrency. It seems like they're going two separate paths. So I want to know what you think. Last but not least, I want to let you know that I was checking out the Atala Prism site again in more detail, and I'm very impressed by what IOG is doing. And I'm going to make a prediction, and I've made it on my channel before, that I think IOG is going to go public sometime in the future. The way they lay out that website and the solutions that they're going to provide is incredible. And I don't think it's going to necessarily deal with ADA whatsoever. I don't think it's going to impact the price of ADA. I don't think it's going to impact the network of what's going on with ADA. ADA is more of a leveraging tool to show, look what we can do. But if you look at what Atala Prism and Atala Trace are going to provide, they're going to provide turnkey solutions for individuals, businesses, governments. And if they properly create a business development team, some people that are understand the world of government contracting, I mean, they're going to scoop it right up. I'm in government contracting. I know exactly what solicitations are out there and how little competition there are for certain niches or certain NACE codes. And the cryptocurrency blockchain, the blockchain NACE code is unexplored and it's untapped. So leveraging the technology that they have, IOG, they have the scientific backing in order to prove that they can build the product that they do. They're going to build a product, for example, for degrees, and they're going to be able to just white label that product over and over and over again to multiple government agencies or companies. Same thing for supply chain, same thing for identity credentials, and it's so needed. It's so needed. Right now I'm working on a government contract, and because of COVID, we have to monitor every single passenger that gets into the vehicles. We have to monitor exactly who's sitting here, who's sitting here, who's sitting here. It's identity-based solutions are the future for government contracting, and I think it's wonderful moving forward. That being said, I don't think it's going to impact the price of ADA, but I would love to invest in IOG. I have money to invest in IOG because when they go public, I think they're going to become a behemoth, and I think that's the end goal. And just the way that they've been expanding, the number of employees that they have now, and they're going to continue to expand. And as they continue to expand, eventually they're going to need some funding, and they're going to need to go public. So, hopefully ADA investors can get in early or something like that, because I would love to invest in IOG. I think they're definitely going public. I wish I could invest in IOG early stages. That would be wonderful, because I think that they're going to become a behemoth. So if they create the products, when Atala Prism comes out, I think they're going to corner the game, and I think they're going to be able to scoop up a lot of contracts, especially on the government side. The NACE codes for blockchain are relatively unexplored. So if they get a good government contracting team to work for IOG, they're going to be able to scoop those left and right. So maybe we can get an early stage, or maybe not. But IOG is going to become a successful company. They're going to become a behemoth. So let me know what you think. Talked about IOG going public in the future. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. It's a prediction, and I think it's going to come true. And the second thing I talked about is Emurgo competing with IOG. Let me know what you think, and until the next video, have a wonderful day, everyone.